What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm gonna show you how I made this. Beautiful, delicious, crispy, smoky, juicy, amazing birria tostada. That's right, folks, we're making a big pot of birria with the consommé for dipping, making some tacos and some gigantic tostadas. Coming up! This is some meat. Ooh. Pat it dry. And what I've got here is some beef cheeks, some boneless short rib, a big old chuck roast, and a couple of beef shanks. And that's a lot of meat, but I'm okay with it. And that's because today we're taking another look at birria. And I've been playing with the birria taco form factor for the last few years, usually in December, because whenever the weather gets a little bit colder and we start heading toward the holidays, birria always comes to mind and sounds like a great idea because something about that braised, tender meat mixed with the warming spices of the cinnamon and a little bit of clove and all the wonderful chili flavors always sounds good on a cold day. And if you're gonna make it, I suggest making a big batch because it vacuum seals and freezes really easily, comes back to life incredibly well, and everyone loves a good birria taco or birria taquito. Made those a couple of years ago. And today we're gonna be making a birria tostada. But honestly, with all this meat, I'll probably make some of everything. And traditionally, I believe birria is made with goat meat, but most of the time when you see it around these parts, it's made with beef. And when it comes to beef, you wanna just get some cheap, tough cuts like a chuck roast or these shanks. These are great because of that marrow in there. It's gonna really help the stock. And braising down these tough cuts makes them super tender and super shreddy, which is why we got some short rib and of course some beef cheeks. Again, all this extra fat is really gonna help fortify the stock and give us that lovely grease we're gonna need later on in the recipe. And you could brown these off, you could throw these right into a crock pot, but you know me, I'm gonna season these up and throw them on the barbecue pit to get a little bit of smoke flavor on there. But before that, we're gonna hit them with a little bit of seasoning, which is some Chuds BBQ SPG, on sale now, highly recommend it. Just salt, pepper, garlic, you can make your own if you like. Recipe's right on the back of the bottle here. But just a healthy dusting. This is all going into a braise anyway, so we don't really need to make it look pretty, but just get the seasoning process started, get a little bit of bark from all the black pepper, help that smoke stick a little bit. Go ahead and flip these all over and season the tops as well, or the bottoms, and the sides. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this beef cheek blob down a little bit, just so it fits in the pot a little bit easier and gets a little bit more smoke and bark on it. We'll do the same with this chuck roast over here. And just pick up all that table seasoning as well. And just like that, all seasoned up, looking pretty good to me. So let's go ahead and fire up the pit. Boot rhymes with toot. And on the pit we go. Got the old offset fired up with some post oak wood for a classic Texas barbecue cook. And we're simply just gonna toss all this meat on, kind of right in the sweet spot, but really it doesn't matter how you put it on here as long as it's not overlapping, you know. Although even that would probably still be fine, because really we're just trying to get some color and some smoke flavor on this meat. But remember, this is going into a braise, which is really where most of the cooking is gonna happen. So this stage is mostly just about flavor, but also the longer it's on here, probably the less time it'll take in the braise itself. So I'm probably gonna rock this around 275 degrees for maybe 3-4 hours until they start looking nice and smoky, taking on some good color, and probably shrink up a little bit, which will also help fit them in the pot. It's been about 4 hours on the smoker with all this meat, and it's starting to look nice and smoky, nice and dark. Definitely getting a lot of good flavor on there. So I think it's about time we whipped up our consommé, or adobo sauce, or braise, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be calling it consommé for the rest of this video because that's what it's called when served with birria. But I am aware that it's not a French clarified stock, just so we're clear. And to make it is pretty easy. So to get this consommé started, we're gonna go into a pot here with a whole bunch of some Wagyu beef tallow. Oops. And once that's nice and hot, in we go with 2 onions, roughly chopped, and get those cooking down. And after a couple minutes, these are nice and softened, starting to take on color, looking translucent. So now we'll go in with a whole bunch of some rough chopped garlic. Let that fry up in the fat for a couple of minutes. And once that starts smelling incredibly good, in we go with our Roma tomatoes. And cook these down. The water will start coming out of them. Let that evaporate a little bit until these are nice and softened. And after cooking down for about 10-15 minutes, they have released all their water. They're starting to look nice and soupy and breaking down quite a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and add in a little bit of beef stock just to loosen this up a little bit. And just get that stirred in. That's just gonna help it blend better, which is in fact the next step. An immersion blender would also work really well for this, but now we're just gonna get this all blitzed up. And then right back into the pot. And then, in another pot, we are quickly going to toast off some spices, including some cumin seeds, coriander seeds, black peppercorns, a couple cinnamon sticks, and about 3-4 cloves. I'm just going to toast these on dry heat for just a couple minutes to help waken up their flavor. And after just a couple of minutes, these are nicely toasted, starting to see a little wisp of smoke, so we can pour these off and set them aside for a minute. While we go back into this dry pot with our chilies. These are some Guajillo chilies that I took the stems off and took all the seeds out of. Going in. Got a couple of Ancho chilies as well. And for some heat, we got some chili de Arbol. And you can dial this up or down depending on how spicy you want this to be. But just like the spices, we're gonna dry toast these for a couple of minutes to help release their flavors and let those oils start toasting up a little bit. This is a great thing to do outside, by the way. Those Arbols are hot. But after a couple of minutes of toasting, we'll go in with some water. Cover that up, and we're gonna let these steam for a couple minutes. And after steaming and steeping in this hot water for the last 10-15 minutes or so, these chilies should be nice and soft. So out they come, right back into the blender. And you can use this liquid in the blender as well to help everything blend up, but it can be a bit bitter, so it's probably better for the overall product if we discard that liquid and then use some fresh beef stock instead. And now we blend it up. And once we've got a fine puree, into the pot we go. Love the color on that. Smells great too. And then lastly, to add some more flavor, we're gonna go ahead and make ourselves a sachet of some wonderful flavors, including some oregano, a couple of bay leaves, and all of these lovely spices we toasted off a minute ago. And I'm gonna get this all wrapped up. And this is gonna work a lot like a tea bag, where it's gonna infuse this stock with all of the wonderful flavors and all the whole spices. But then at the end of the day, once they've given us all the flavor they can, we can just pull all this out in one easy package, as opposed to trying to strain out a bunch of coriander seeds or cumin seeds or whole cloves or things like that. So in this goes, should add some wonderful flavor and make life a little bit easier. And now it's time to go in with the rest of our homemade smoky gelatinous beef stock. And to make this, I made this last night. I went to the store and I bought some beef neck bones, some beef marrow bones, any beef bones you can find really. I threw them on the old Chud box, cooking at about 300 degrees, maybe 325. Let those go for about an hour or so. Then I flipped them over and I brushed on some tomato paste, which is really gonna help add some depth and add a lot of flavor to the stock. And once that was cooked on, I put them into my electric stock pot, covered that with boiling water, and let it rip all night long. A nice gentle simmer. Very convenient to be able to do that outside, by the way. I'll have a link down below for that stock pot if you want to get one for yourself. And then in the morning, about 8-9 hours later, I came out, I checked on it, it was looking great. So then I threw in an onion, a carrot, a couple celery stalks, some bay leaves, black peppercorns, and let those cook away for another couple of hours until they were nice and soft, but not incredibly soft and turning into mush. And then I killed the heat, strained the stock, pulled out all the solids, and parked it in the fridge until it was fully chilled and all the fat had solidified to the top. I then came through and took all the fat off of that stock to defat the stock. And what we're left with is a beautiful gelatinous, thick beef stock. Incredibly flavorful, very much full of gelatin. You can see that. That's what you're looking for a really good homemade stock. Can't buy that at the store. Honestly, it's a really fun process. I love making stock. I keep it on hand at all times. But we're gonna go in with all of this stuff for a total of 1 gallon of beef stock total. Although with a really gelatinous stock like this, you could probably get away with 2 quarts of this and 2 quarts of water. And that's 1 gallon of stock, including all the stock we already added to the other things. And once all the beef stock is in, we've got this back up to a simmer. And now we're gonna go ahead and add in some kosher salt because it's unsalted beef stock. But if you're using store-bought, you may wanna reconsider that or wait till the end and taste it. And now all you gotta do is add the beef. Ooh, yeah, nice and smoky in there. Looking pretty good to me, nice and barky, nice and smoky. In we go. Rocking about 160, 170 in these pieces. So we got some fat render, some good bark on there. They're still feeling very tough. So into the braise they go to hopefully get nice and soft and add a lot of great flavor to the consommé and pick up a lot of great flavor from all the wonderful ingredients we just tossed in this pot. Beautiful, lovely fit. Everything is submerged for the most part here. A little rearranging. And now lid goes on and we're gonna simmer this for the next several hours. And I'm not really sure how long this is gonna take. It really depends on what cuts of meat you're using, how far you took them on the smoker, and things of that nature, but probably should only take a couple hours. But I'll let you know when everything is nice and tender. And just like that, after 3, maybe 3.5 hours of bubbling away, this stuff is looking very good, very shreddy, all falling apart. Looks a lot like barbacoa at this point, honestly. Smells incredible. And the whole time I came through every now and again and I was stirring it, kind of scraping the bottom, making sure nothing was burning on the bottom. But what we're left with is some super... It is literally 1 in the morning. What are the helicopters doing? But what we got is some super tender, shreddy meat. So now we got to strain it out. And to do that, I've got myself a half hotel pan as well as a perforated half hotel pan, which is essentially the restaurant version of a colander. And we're gonna send all this meat through, separating the meat from the consommé itself. That way we have pure meat and then a lovely dipping sauce. I did kill the heat on this braise about maybe 45 minutes ago to let it cool down in the liquid, which is always a good idea when you're braising things so the meat doesn't turn super dry and it kind of cools down with the liquid. Probably not long enough judging by the steam, but like I said, it's a little later than I want it to be. And as I'm going through this meat, if there's any bones left in there from the shanks, pull that out. We got our little sachet of all of our herbs and aromatics right here. Give that a nice little press, wring out all that juice, and pull that out. A lot easier than trying to fish out bay leaves and seeds and cinnamon sticks and whatnot. It's so thick, I'm just gonna pour it all in. And I didn't water this down at all during the cooking process, so basically we've just got some more concentrated beef stock in here. So this consomme is gonna be ridiculously flavorful, but if it's too thick or too beefy or too intense, we can always water it down later. And again, I'm straining this all apart because right now it is literally soup, and it's hard to make tacos out of soup, or tostadas in this case, but this way we can really dial in how juicy we want this meat to be. And just like that, all separated, we've got our consomme over here, we've got our lovely shredded, incredibly tender beef over here, and a good amount of it, yet again. Not mad about that. I did add a quart of water to this just to bulk it up a little bit because it's reduced beef stock and I don't want it to be super jello. As for this, I just gave it a taste and it is absolutely incredible, although it could use a little bit more salt. So going with a pinch of that. And personal preference here, I want a little bit more cumin. But other than that, the heat level is great, really deep flavor. And we'll just get that all mixed up. But at this point, you can just kind of taste and adjust to whatever you want your birria to taste like. Looks so good. Yep, that's it. So unbelievably rich. I know it looks a lot like barbacoa, but the flavor is so much different. The texture too. It's just got that gelatinous vibe. So worth it. And now I'm gonna park both of these in the fridge overnight. And this is not just because I got a late start to the day and it's super late at night right now. This is just part of the process because somehow after a long chill in the fridge overnight, this just gets even better. And also for the consomme, as it chills down, much like the beef stock that we made earlier, all the fat will rise to the top so that we can take it off, clarifying our consomme a little bit, but also we can use that fat to make the tostadas or the birria tacos or whatever it is you're making. So lids go on in the fridge overnight and I'll see y'all tomorrow. This video is brought to you by Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep makes premium quality mattresses and bedding customized to fit your needs, conveniently shipped right to your door. They have a wide range of mattresses to choose from, or if you're not ready to replace your existing mattress, they also have a great line of mattress toppers. So if you want to enjoy the comfort of Helix without replacing your entire mattress, while simultaneously extending the life of your existing mattress, their mattress toppers are a great solution for that. And Helix will pair you with the perfect mattress. Simply go to their website and fill out the sleep quiz, where you enter your basic information like height, weight, sleeping preferences, that sort of stuff, and you'll get matched up with the perfect mattress. I took the quiz like 4 years ago with Brooke, and we were matched with the Helix Sleep Dusk Luxe mattress, and I gotta tell you, it is the best bed I have ever had. And there's a reason why I keep partnering with Helix, and that's because I genuinely love their mattresses. Like I said, I've had mine for years at this point, and it is still just as comfortable as day one. Bones has one. We've also got a couple down at the Chuds shop in the apartment upstairs, and everyone that comes through there absolutely loves their mattresses as well. Super comfy. I also got the Glaciotex cooling cover on my mattress, which keeps me from overheating during those hot Texas summers. But other than the comfort, probably my favorite thing about Helix is just how convenient it is. And that's because their mattresses come in a super conveniently sized box, making it get a king-size mattress up a flight of stairs a whole lot easier. Then you pull the bed out of the box, pop the vac seal, watch it come back to life, and you've got a bed ready to go about as conveniently as possible. And with winter upon us, we are in peak coziness season, so having a really good mattress is an absolute must. And I can't recommend Helix enough. So if you're looking to get the best bed of your life or a mattress topper to improve your current setup, click my link down below or scan the QR code on screen now to check out Helix Sleep. And if you act right now, you can take advantage of their extended Cyber Monday sale, where you can get 20% off site-wide. Again, scan the QR code on screen now or click my link in the description box of this video to check out Helix Sleep and take advantage of their sale where you can get 20% off site-wide. Thank you, Helix. One overnight later, it is the next evening, if you couldn't tell, and I think it's time to check in on this consomme because I want some birria. And taking a look at it, there is definitely a big layer of solidified fat on the top, and this whole thing feels like it's made out of Jell-O. But now we can go ahead and take this fat cap off the top. See how thick it is. Oh yeah, there's a lot of fat in here, which is a good thing. Beautiful, red, vibrant fat. That's exactly what we're hoping for. Chock full of great flavors. But now I'm gonna come through and carefully remove all this fat and keep this aside in a bowl over here, because we're gonna need it to cook our tortillas. Something very satisfying about doing this. And just like that, most of the fat is removed. We can leave a little bit in there, it's not gonna hurt anything, but yeah, this is pure Jello, pure concentrated flavor, and pretty crazy looking. But now we're gonna heat this up to make sure it's nice and melted and nice and hot. Got the consommé heating up on the burner over here, and it smells absolutely incredible. As for the meat, we want to make sure that's warm through as well. So I've got mine parked inside in a 300-degree toaster oven, coming up in temp. But you could do whatever you want. You could throw it on the grill, pop it in the microwave. Sous vide would be a great option. You could take it straight from the fridge and throw it on the flat top. That sounds like a great idea. But we just want to make sure it is nice and warm. As for tortillas, I really should be making my own for this recipe, and I have in the past many times. Several birria videos I've made my own tortillas, and they work great for when I'm making tacos, but I'm just really not good at making crispy corn tortillas. You can check out my barbecue nacho video from a while back if you want to see me fail at that a few times. So today we're gonna make it easy and just go with some store-bought. I got some regular size and some street taco size, and I'm probably gonna knock out some tacos as well, but we gotta get these cooked off. And to do that, we're gonna melt down this fat we just pulled off the stock. And once that fat is nice and toasty, in we go with our corn tortillas, and we're gonna let those fry, and hopefully they get nice and crispy and infused with all that lovely flavor. Looking puffy, feeling crispy, and after just a couple seconds, that is looking beautiful. So off it comes to drain on a paper towel. And we'll go in with number 2. I did strain this fat just now in between tortillas because a lot of the residual stock and consommé that was in the fat was starting to burn on the bottom. So I strained out all the particulates, and now it's a little bit cleaner of a fat. God, it smells so good out here. Looking crispy. We'll go down with some of these little guys as well. Well, that didn't really work out as I was hoping, because when I first started making this video, I was thinking about just taking the tortillas, dropping them into a deep fryer to get crispy, then running them through the birria fat to get all the color and flavor, but that seemed kind of lame, so I thought maybe I should just try frying them to crispy in the birria fat, knowing that there's a bunch of particulate in there that might burn up and get weird. And it worked out really well for this first one, you know? That's exactly what I was hoping for. Beautiful color, nice and crispy, but after cooking that first one, all the color seemed to leave the fat, and the rest of these just look like regular fried tostadas. So next time I think I'll probably just fry these off and then dunk them for the color. But once we dip these in consommé, you know they're gonna be good. And they definitely smell really nice. Well, while I'm here, before I build out these tostadas, I'm probably gonna knock out a couple of regular queso birria tacos as well. Starting with doing a quick little dunk of these tortillas in the consommé, and then right onto the old flat top. And we'll go down with some of our lovely birria beef and a little mound of Oaxaca cheese. Then we'll go ahead and fold these up into some lovely little tacos. And cook these till we've got some lovely, cheesy, meaty birria tacos. And as for the tostadas, I think I am going to throw this meat on the flat top for a little bit, just to get a little textural variation. Little consommé. Oops. And to build our birria tostada, we're gonna go down with our lovely fried corn tortilla, a nice healthy mound of some of our freshly griddled off, nice and toasty birria meat. Top that with a healthy amount of some Oaxaca cheese. Give that a little help in the melting department. A nice little splash of our consommé. Help the cheese melt as well. Make sure everything is nice and juicy. And to top it off, we'll go down with some diced onion, as well as some freshly chopped cilantro. And you know what, just because I got it, we'll go down with a little cotija as well. Oh, the perfect garnish. And there it is, folks, the birria tostada. And just like that, folks, we've got ourselves some lovely birria tacos, a couple of birria tostadas, and of course, we can't forget about the consommé for dipping. Oops. And we'll add a little bit of onions and cilantro to that as well. You know, a few setbacks today, but all in all, this looks like a delicious pile of food. Got the consommé for dipping back there, meaty, cheesy, and I think it's time to see how this came out. I've been smelling this for far too long to not have tried it. Oh, that is fantastic. Just so many flavors, so complex. That meat is just so juicy, so smoky, so incredibly tender, and just packed with flavor. I think the reason I love birria so much is because I always look at it and assume it's barbacoa, and then it just hits you with that punch of flavor with the warming spices, and that cheese on top, and all those chilies in there. It's like if Texas chili and barbacoa came together with a little holiday flair. You got the freshness on top from that cilantro and onion. Hearty. Although, here we are at the end, eating a tostada that is literally turning into a taco in my hand. So I probably should have just made tacos, but either way, it's fantastic. It was so satisfying. I will say, on this first one, I dumped the consommé onto the tostada, which I think was a pretty dumb idea because it just softened the tortilla right in the middle immediately. But on these two mini ones, I didn't do that. So these are still nice and crispy, but someone's staring at me in there. Brooke.
Yes.
Would you like some birria tostada / tacos?
Yes, these look so good, and they're so cute.
Yeah, I made a giant one over here, and the form factor was a little, left a little to be desired.
Well, my mouth's watering.
These tiny ones are super cute. Sounds crunchy. Yeah, I like these mini ones because you can actually dip them in the old consomme over here.
Yeah, and it all stays on.
Yeah, the cheese holds it all
good.
together. This is a napkin kind of a meal.
Definitely not a white shirt kind of meal.
Yeah, I shouldn't have made that gigantic one. These littler ones are so much easier to eat. Anything with a dip. Gotta love it.
I was hungry. I don't have any thoughts. It's just delicious.
This is just dinner. So, over the last few minutes, I've been thinking to myself that I think the Birria Tostada might be a bridge too far. Because, truth be told, I just wanted to make birria, and if I'm going to go through the whole process of making birria, I might as well make a video about it.
Right.
But I've already done birria tacos and birria taquitos, which were also very good. But taquitos make sense, because it's rolled up, it's kind of finger food, dippable, but the tostada is just kind of awkward to eat. But then again, I was thinking that when I was eating the gigantic one, because this one is kind of like birria meets nachos or something.
I agree, when you have a tostada that's too big, it's like really hard to determine where to even begin with it. But this is perfect. It's like kind of just a bigger nacho. Is birria like a holiday kind of? No? Okay.
No, I think it's mostly just food, or drunk food, or hangover cure food.
I mean, people drink on the holidays.
Maybe. But I was saying earlier in the vid that I always want this around the holidays because of that, you know.
Yeah.
Will those sirens shut up, please? We gotta move. But because of the warming spices and it's just like a stew, a braise, kind of a soup all mixed together, it just screams cold weather to me. Thank you.
Now that I'm having a bite of the taco, I think there is a good place for the taco, but I like the crispiness of the tostada. That sticks around more than the taco.
Right. Although these tacos should have been crispier, but I used all the fat to make the tostadas, so these didn't really fry up as much as they should. But you know what? Birria in any form factor is always good. Ooh.
And if you've never had birria, it always looks way spicier than it actually is.
This is mild.
This is pretty mild, yeah. I mean, there is a kick, but...
I was tasting the consomme last night, and I put, I think, 5 Arbol chilies without the seeds in that giant pot. And the fact that there's that much kick coming through still, don't mess around with those Arbols, man. They're spicy, but this is my level of spice, where I'm not rushing to get a drink or anything.
No.
But it's, like, pleasant in the background. I think you'd call that medium.
It dances with the other flavors.
And luckily, I made a big batch, so we can whip these up whenever you want, because it's a process to make, but once you have it, making these tacos took like 10 seconds.
Okay, good, because I might eat another tostada.
Okay. Yeah, after having the taco, the tostada really does have its place, because all the toppings kind of stay. It's hard to put toppings on a taco that's like, you know, a centimeter thick.
Yeah.
The onions and cilantro. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I like it. I liked the crunchy, just enough heat.
Do you know what we should do next time? Is just do this on some tortilla chips, like the scoops, and just have them as like a little past app at a party.
Like Tostino scoops.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe load up a Frito.
I was just gonna say that. One of the big jumbo Fritos or whatever.
I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to revisit birria on the channel. I can't think of anything else to do with it.
Well, maybe some people will come up with a clever.
I was close to just making a crispy taco stuffed with birria, but that sounds a little heavy.
I like a crispy taco.
Me too. I mean, without loading it up with like lettuce and cheese and sour cream.
Yeah, I guess it's just like 90% meat and then cheese.
Or just a lot of cheese.
And then like a thought of onion.
Just a whisper.
Yeah.
And a toot of cilantro.
Yeah, essence de cilantro.
Well, I'm going to make at least 3 more of those mini tostadas because that is
please make
real
me
good.
one.
Okay. Brooke, I forgot the limes again.
Yeah, I'm a little bit upset now.
Now we definitely have to make some more.
Yeah.
Or just squirt it right into my mouth. And with this very last bite of birria taco, I think it's time for the official taste test. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some smoked beef birria turned into some lovely tostadas. I highly recommend giving this one a try. You know, it's a pretty hands-off process, and if you've never made birria before, I can't recommend it enough. It's so tasty, it's rich, it's juicy, it's meaty, and then you got a whole bunch of meat on hand that you can make tacos, tostadas, flautas, taquitos, or whatever you like. And honestly, that consomme alone is worth making this recipe for, because I was just sipping on it in there, and it's a great soup in its own right. And how could it not be good? It's incredibly rich, smoky beef stock that's then fortified with more beef and a bunch of great flavors and aromatics, and that'll be getting a lot of use this week as well. And I'm really glad to have a bunch on hand, because I'm probably going to be eating birria every day till the end of the year. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Team Chud members. Thank you for supporting this channel and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.